Welcome to the Chop Team. I'm your host, Seth the Darchild.
I'm your host, twinsinc.
Our show is about two guys and any friends that happen to come over with a topic that we want to chop up.
This is our barbershop-style podcast. We discuss it all. If the fellas at the shop will go in on it, we will. Let's chop it up.
Hey, and today our guest is once again the indubitable J-Dub. And our topic today is coming from him too. What is it, brother?
Topic today is dating outside of your race. So I wanted to get you guys' opinion about it. I've actually been pushing for my kids now recently just because of my life experiences. I've actually been pushing them to date outside of their race just because of the experiences as a young black male growing up in America. Some of the challenges we've experienced, I think that other races definitely don't experience those same challenges. And it makes for a difficult relationship when men have to deal with life issues, relationship issues, and all the issues that a black male have to deal with. So the reason I've been pushing my kids recently is I'm saying, why not try it? So what do you guys think about dating outside of your race?
Well, I just want to, I'm actually want to go in on this, but I want to clarify why outside of just to clarify, the problems with being a black man dating within the race, what specific items are you finding to be problematic? What areas do you see the most problems?
Well, the most problems, at least for my personal experience, coming from a single mother, I had to deal with not having a father around, which didn't allow me to really understand how to be a man. A lot of things I had to learn on my own. I had to learn that aspect and also be in relationships with women. So I didn't understand what
just
real
to
true,
clarify, black women?
Black women, yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I have dated outside of my race, if that's a question as well. But there's a lot of things I had to figure out in life that I think that other races don't have the same challenges, which will allow for a more healthy relationship, in my opinion.
Okay. You want to go first?
No, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to chime in afterwards.
Okay. All right. Without going all statisticky and everything, I agree. Dating, some things, a conversation I had recently points me in this direction, is that it's incredibly sad that as a black man, dating black women is not the best choice for me, because the black woman is supposed to be my natural partner. And once again, I love the fact that you touch base on the single parent aspect of it, because that's primarily the entire problem. For generations at this point, since the 70s, so you're looking at 3-4 generations, depending on how you count it, there has been a systematic removal of fathers from the household. This systematic removal of those fathers from the household is causing people, black women specifically, but black men raised by these women, to have to adjust to certain societal changes that are actually unnatural. This shit doesn't make sense. And it's gotten so bad because you've got single women raising single women without any actual true male influence, that has put us as black men who were raised by these same single women in a position where we don't want the women that raised us. That is a problem. And I'm fine with dating outside your race, but the reasons why it's becoming a major option and issue, it's incredibly sad.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was kind of deep. So my personal feelings and thought on dating outside your relationship, right?
Your race.
Your race. I have a relationship, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can date outside your relationship, but your wife might kick your ass.
Facts. All right. So me personally, I grew up with both parents in my house, right? So I had the
You spoiled bastard.
Privilege.
yeah, I already say that. So I had the privilege to see Black Love firsthand, right?
I saw
So
Black Love. It's a movie. It was nice. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, let me have my moment here.
Go,
Okay?
go.
So I had the privilege once again to have my mom and my dad, Black Love, growing up. Now I was never raised not to date outside my race, right? My mom, my dad never said don't date a white girl, Chinese girl, Korean girl, none of that. It never came out their mouths. You know what I'm saying? So as far as my personal experience, I have dated outside my relationship. Plenty women.
Your
Race.
I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm like gonna kill you in this one. I have dated plenty of women outside my race, right? Now, me personally, dating's fine, right? But as far as long-term marriage, me personally, I could not see myself not marry either a black woman or any other Caribbean woman.
Afrocentric.
I couldn't. Long story short, I couldn't marry a white woman. Simple as that. Okay. I've dated plenty of women, white women, dated, no problem. But as far as long term relationship, like I'm put a ring on it, I couldn't do it. And here's why. Because I think it is pretty good to date outside your race. I think it is pretty good because you get a lot of experiences, a lot of knowledge and things that their background, your background, so you learn about other people in other race. But at the end of the day, we all have arguments. We do. And sometimes when people argue with you, you get to see the real nature. You get to see the real feelings, how they really feel about you. It may not be you. It may be your race, right?
Maybe a stereotype you're arguing against.
I'm just a fact. So I say this to any of them brothers out there. Dating is good. Don't marry. Because I say this. If you get in an argument with your lady, and let's say she's white. I'm going to say white because I dated a white woman. When they get mad, they'll say shit like, that black bitch. They'll say, think about that. And then, and they'll say that to my other females, oh, that black bitch. Then you have to sit back and think, like, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's a black woman. So you saying all black females, you know what I'm saying, or black bitches? Because then that for me, that's hold up. I'm black. Don't get it twisted now. I love my mom to death. So if you saying all black women is this, then you taking a shot at me. And then, and on top of that too, once you get to meet their parents, you know what I'm saying? Like all that plays a role. Like it's cool. The girl may love you to death, but if the family don't like you, you're going to have problems. I don't care what it may be. People say love, love, love. Listen, I'll say this for example. Most people that I know who marry opposite race and they're white is mainly famous people. I'm referring to like athletes, actors, all that, right? They have that token white woman next to them on their shoulder, right? Hold on, let me finish. And even dating wise, and you can just go, and it's every year happens, month over month, year over year. These black dudes date these white women. They'll get married to them after a few years. What they do? Divorce them. What they do? Take half. On top of that, anytime there is a fight or argument on the news and it's a black athlete, majority of the time it's a white woman. Most car players, when they get in fights or getting beat women up, it's always a white woman. Not all. I'm not going to say 100%. I'm going to say 85% most of the time. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that there's a lot of black fellas out there that date sisters. They do. But how often do you see them in the news with domestic abuse or any drama? Now, drama does happen, but they're not dragging them through the street. You know what I'm saying? I can name players right now. Blake Griffin. Michael Jordan. I can name players who are black, they got white wives, and then when stuff happens, it hit the fan. So my thing is this. Why would you marry outside your race and then bring up someone else? I mean, if you was a single parent and you had a good relationship with your mom raised you pretty good, right? You had a good mom, you loved her to death. Me personally, I wanted to marry a woman like my mom. Not my mom and son, not marry her, but based on the things that she did. So she gave me the you stupid.
No, I'm sorry.
She showed me what a woman should do for her man and for her husband, right? So, me personally, I only seen that. But when I dated outside of race, I got told opposite. They love you when everything is good, but when things are bad, you really know how they really feel about you. That's all I'm saying. So, date them, but I wouldn't marry them. Simple as that.
Okay, so my opinion is, I think you can date and even marry outside of your race. I think we should leave the doors open for those possibilities, because I can only speak for myself, but growing up in the South, it was always frowned upon to date outside your race. And I've traveled many places all over the world, and I've seen interracial couples, happy interracial couples, and it looks like a beautiful thing. And I don't think we need to just limit ourselves to one race just because we were maybe raised that way and thought it was the best thing. I just say keep your eyes open, keep your options open, and you may encounter something that makes your life better.
And before you jump in, I do want to say this though. And like I said, in my household, I was never told not to date another,
I was.
Okay. Well, for me first, like I said, me, but most black men that I do know weren't told not to, right? Most. Now I'm not saying all, but most. But I say that to say this. Chinese women are raised not to date black men. Asians are raised they're told not to date black men.
Keep going.
I mean,
Hispanics are told not to date black men.
They're told, like, they're raised not to date black men. If you don't believe me, talk to one.
Let me.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying black men can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't force my kids. They love who you love, but I'm not saying don't marry her, date them, because then you'll understand. Because things will get bad. When things get bad, you will see it. So I'd rather you date them, but don't put a ring on it.
Okay.
Until you know for sure that's it. But go ahead.
All right. All right.
You up now?
No. It's so many of those stats. So just finishing where you were at, Hispanic women have been taught not to date black people, African American men. I don't always want to play the racial card, but you have to understand how much race plays a role throughout America, period. And racism has been exported through media and pretty much since the turn of the century. So white women have been told not to date black men. Asians, Hispanics. I've dated a Hispanic whose mother told her to break up with me because I was a nigger. Sorry, black man. Okay. I dated a girl from India. That relationship didn't work out because her parents didn't approve of me. Now, this is back in high school. Yeah, I don't know if it was a social economic issue because, hey, he's poor and black, but we're in high school. I'm not providing a future for her. We just kicking it in the hallway. Still, parents. So, personally, I don't mind. Okay, I'm going to play this card. I like dating outside of our race as a black man. I'm tired of racism. You know what my plan is? I came up with this like 20 years ago. I called it Operation Mocha. I was like, yo, every black man in America needs to date and have a baby outside of his race. That 20 million new people of color. Because you're not going to stop racism unless you erase those color boundaries. So I like the idea. But the reasons that we are doing it, once again, I've been married and I've dated and everything. Black women specifically, because that is who I primarily deal with, they're just monsters. I mean, and I'm not
all of them.
Wait. No. I'm just saying that as an analogy, someone told me, if there were 10 snakes outside your door, 5 of them were poisonous and would kill you with one bite, and 5 of them wouldn't, would you let any of them into your house?
No.
Why not? Because you don't know until they get into the damn house if they will kill you. And unfortunately, that's how for us, I see what you're saying. Being with the people, our women, they talk back. You can pull up Facebook. They talk back. They don't know how to behave. They don't give a damn about you for the most part. They're not going to do nothing for you. Outside of sex, what exactly is she bringing into your life? And if that answer doesn't match up to what you have to bring to the table, why would you mess with her?
Now, hold on, before we, because I know it's going to hit a nerve when you said they top back. So what are they supposed to do?
Shut the hell up. No, I'm sorry. How about this? I'll clarify, but honestly, if I tell you, you can't go out this weekend, don't get me wrong, most women talk back too, so I'm not giving anybody a pass, but black women specifically. I don't want you to go out with XYZ. I don't need you hanging at the club anymore. What is she gonna do? And this brothers, what you gonna do if your girl tell you don't want her to go out? What you gonna do?
Well, it depends. Are y'all married or y'all just dating?
Doesn't even matter, because I'm not gonna marry you if I can't date you. And if you can't follow your directions right now, what's gonna happen 6 months later, a year later?
Okay.
So if you tell your girl to do something specific, is she gonna just take it? Or is she going to roll her neck and say something?
Well, I think it's human nature to go against something that people tell you not to do. So, in general, people will try to
go against the grain.
Go against the grain.
Yeah.
But do they have to do it all the time? Do they have to do it? What percentage of talking back do you find acceptable?
Talking back is kind of a harsh word.
Yeah,
it's like it makes it sound like you're talking to a child.
Wait,
so.
give us a scenario.
No. I'm not going to, because I want to say this as a general question. My man J Dub said that he would encourage his children to date outside their race because they're going to have. It's hard enough being of our complexion as it is, and they may enjoy the options available with other people. What that means is, even though you might not have thought about it, you might not have set those limits in your head, there are limits that you've created for yourself that you have found to be exceeded by the people of your own race on enough basis that you would encourage your children to step outside of those boundaries, because they shouldn't have to put up with that same stuff.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay.
The reason why I tell my kids to keep their options open is because I didn't keep my options open as I think they should have. So, for example, I think I should have dated more outside of my race than I have. So that's why I want them to open their eyes and doors to those options.
So you feel like you missed out by primarily dating black women?
Not necessarily,
So
but it's like exploring a desert island. You don't know what's there, but if you think there's a pot of gold there, you probably want to send somebody there in the future.
So what you've described is called hypergamy, by the way. It's basically always keeping an eye out for a better option. It's that, while that's primarily a main thing that's wrong with American relationships, because everyone is always keeping their options open, but primarily from a racial standpoint, I'm gonna keep on it, because I know I'm gonna logic you into a hole where you're gonna just say yes. But
Probably not, but go ahead.
But no, and once again, I agree. If my son can't, my mother told me when I was a kid, don't you bring no white girl in this house. But she told me that because her experiences with people of the white race had been negative. Mm-hmm. And she looked at bringing a white girl home as selling out your race, yes. Right? That's why even now when I talk to my mom, I'm like, you can't really give me a reason why. It's just what your mama told you, so you told me. But that kind of mentality, because once again, I support you dating outside your race, but that kind of mentality boxes you in, because it teaches you not to explore your options. So I know why. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you, but your reason for doing it is based on the simple fact that no health is hard headed. You don't want to say that. You don't want to say that.
No.
It's like, you think you would have been happier with your life had you had a woman of a different complexion?
I don't know. I can't tell you that my life would have been different. I just want my children to explore those options. Will they be successful or maybe not? I would just like for them to leave that door open. And that's my reasoning behind it.
I got you now. What's your definition of beauty?
My definition?
Yeah, what do you consider beautiful?
It's hard. It's hard for me to put a definition behind beauty. I find beauty to be really simple things. Like black is beautiful to me. Small insects. Beauty is it's so broad. It's hard for me to put a specific definition on it.
So it's not blonde hair, blue eyes.
No.
Okay. All right. Just check. You about to say something? Nah. But nah, that's it. Once again, when I pictured a woman that I have this, I don't care if it's freaking. There was this black girl at a store, and she was so black, and I mean her complexion was so dark. I literally couldn't tell where her hair started and her face stopped. She had on a low cut peach shirt, and it was, dude, I was mesmerized by how dark her skin was.
God is black.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she is so godly then.
Like, whoa.
Yo, and I realized that I prefer exceptionally dark women. Not ugly. I still like the symmetrical features and big breasts, but the darker this complexion, the more I'm attracted. So for me, dating a white woman, while I would do it because sex is awesome, I would prefer a darker complected woman for a life partner.
Okay.
But that's my call. So that's why I asked you about what's your definition of beauty.
Oh, well, my life partner has already been selected, so.
Oh, that was the most diplomatic answer. Boy,
You trying to set him up.
I was not, but dang, way to go.
Yes.
But no, I'm glad we're having this discussion and it's a healthy conversation, but I just, at the end of the day, would like my children to explore options that I didn't. And that's my point.
Fair enough.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have nothing else to add to that.
Yo, this has been a good one. Then listen, leave some comments. Let us know how you think about it, and if you want us to come back and address it in the future, we will. So this has been Seth the Dark Child,
Twins Inc.
J-Dubs.
Thanks for joining. Have a great day.
And we out.